Hello. Remember how from the late 80s to about the mid 90s, almost every popular video game franchise had a TV show based off it? Usually cartoons, and some of them weren't perfect. Well, actually, none of them were really, but a lot of them were really good shows, and it was awesome. Video games have been around since even the 70s. Well, actually, then it was just Pong, but they've evolved so much over the years. Look at them now; they're incredible. So, why is there no TV shows now based off of video games? Probably because everything's trademarked and copyrighted. Schmucks. But back in the 90s, they were very popular. My two most favorites, I think, were Mega Man and Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's talk about Mega Man first. This was a good show, but first of all, why is he jacked? Mega Man was small, and the bosses were maybe twice his size. Well, they're not that big, but they were close to it. In this, he's jacked. But it was a great show, but why is he... I don't know. Another flaw with the show was that Wily always had the same robots. Each episode, it was just one of those shows, Wily has a different scheme for taking over the city or world or whatever, and then Mega Man stops him or foils his plans. Each episode, Wily had the same robots. It was Guts Man, Cut Man, Proto Man, and then one or two others. Why not use the other bosses? There's so many characters in Mega Man. Well, why not expand it? But it was still a good show. I liked it. It had its flaws, but it was... Then there was Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, actually to my knowledge, there was 3 Sonic shows in the 90s. This was all of them. He was voiced by Jaleel White, also known as Steve Urkel. Yeah. Did I do that? But this one, I think, is the one that really stood out to me the most. It was this was, I think, 93, maybe 94. I want to 93, and there wasn't as many characters in Sonic as there are now, because the franchise has been around for over 20 years. But in this case, they had to kind of make up their own characters for the show. There was Sonic and Tails, of course, which really they were the only characters in the game at the time. Well, including Robotnik. So there was this fox girl, Sally, Bunny, who was this rabbit girl with robot limbs, Rotor, who was a walrus, and he was pretty much a mechanic, and there's more characters, but it was a really good show. Robotnik had an army of robots, and Sonic led a resistance known as the Freedom Fighters, which is who a lot of these characters were, and some of the characters, there was other characters that they didn't include too, a brief moment of it or something, but for one episode. And if Freedom Fighters were captured, they were turned into robots, a process known as roboticizing. And that's actually what happened to the Bunny girl. She was roboticized. She was being roboticized, and they broke her out prior to the... yeah. But it was a really good show. I'd look into it. It's awesome. Both of these shows, really. But, seriously, they need to make more shows based off of video games. There's so many video game franchises. Stop trademarking crap. Make more video game-based TV shows.